Welcome to the Unquestioned podcast, to episode 8 with Debaere and Willem Himpe. Today we're going to talk about regression and what it means in the world of software. But first of all, Louis, how are you doing? And
I'm alright.
Did you have a good week this week?
Yeah, kind of a slow week, but yeah.
Yeah, and I want to actually, to start off, have a fun question. Mm-hmm. What is kind of one habit or maybe trait that you have that you do every day that is quite special that you really need or can't live without?
One habit I couldn't do without is probably my cold shower routine. It really grounds me, it takes me out of my head. Yeah, that's the one thing I don't want to skip.
So you do every day, you take a cold shower for how long actually?
As much as I can. It really, I don't know, feels like reconnects me with my primal self,
with your
my lizard brain, my ancestors, all of them. Yeah, it's really fun practice.
Yeah, it is. Like, it's been as well very like hybrid as well. I did it as well when I was back in the day an athlete as a tennis player, and it just increases the blood flow and it gives you like this adrenaline kick. So it's, yeah, I think for everyone should do it, but it's kind of painful. But do you still feel the pain, or is it perfect? Like,
no, I look forward to it. It's my reward. It's a treat. So yeah, if it's painful, by all means don't do it. Like, I'm not saying this to virtue signal. It's really one of the highlights of my day.
Oh, nice. Well, with me, it's actually it's going to the gym. So either going to the gym or play some tennis with some friends, because then as well I can just hit the ball like crazy and put all my aggression from the start about other things in life. I can leave it on the court and then be fully cleared, or leave it in the gym, and then start the next day fresh.
Awesome.
Voila. So let's start with the topic today, regression, and what kind of it means in software. Louis, could you maybe give first a definition, what it is, and then we'll go from that point on.
Yes, regression is a very simple concept. It's a type of bug, and it means that something used to work, some functionality that you counted on, doesn't work anymore. So something used to work and now it doesn't. That's called a regression, because you're going back functionality-wise. Something your users are expecting is no longer there. And
is always visually for the users, or is it as well possible for the programmers, for example, that there's suddenly, because there's so many people programming something, and suddenly aggression in that code or that whatever isn't there anymore?
Yeah, you can have a software regression in code, something unexpected, but also visually in the user experience, as we'll give an example later on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, in my personal experience, I've had it with my startup actually, where we did a redesign of one of the main pages of a memory timeline, and then as well our customers that we had said, I don't like it, I hate it so much, the way it changed it. Mm-hmm. And then we had to go all the way back, so that's maybe as well kind of an example or an initial starter of what it means.
Yes, regressions are caused by undefined state.
Mm-hmm.
What is undefined state? Usually, as a developer, as a product person, we have a very good idea of what we call the happy path. And that's the ideal scenario when everything goes well, the user is in a good mood, taps everything, fills everything in correctly, like a good student.
Mm-hmm.
But we oftentimes forget error states. What if there's no internet? Edge cases, like we call them, exceptions. What if the user forgot something, or caps lock? Caps lock is on his keyboard and he mistypes something. What then? And if you don't fully map everything that can happen dynamically in your app, you can have undefined state. And undefined state is not necessarily bad, but it's just because you don't know about it, it's possible that your users rely on something that you didn't even know existed. And the more users you have, the higher the likelihood that they will start using your product or piece of software in an unexpected way. Yeah. And then when you change that later, because you don't know about that feature or the way the users are using it, you're going a step back for them, and then they can be angry and you don't even know why beforehand.
So it could be as well like a majority of your customer base uses a certain part of your software with an undefined state.
Absolutely.
And then suddenly you change that state, or something happens to that state, and then suddenly every user is like, oh, what happened? I needed that undefined state, which can be something visually or can something programmed, and then that has certain effects, and that's kind of what regression is meaning.
Yeah, to make it less abstract, let's think of some examples. So I used to work on a running app called Runtastic as part of Adidas, and what we saw was users were running with an unknown device, which turned out to be an iPad, a tablet, but we make a running app.
Wait. So people literally took their backpacks, they put their tablet in their backpack?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Oh, they were running with their...
What we figured out was users were indeed putting their iPad in their backpack to go for longer walks, to go for hikes in the mountains. And
I'm imagining now a bunch of Karens with their iPads taking pictures while they're doing runs.
But yeah, you have to see, like we are literally in the dark, trying to figure out why they would do this. But the iPad has a very long battery, so that's likely why they would use their iPad for hikes, because hikes can take up to 7 hours, and the core product is built around
short
running
runs
and with maximum of like a marathon or something.
And this way they can track everything, but you guys at Runtastic were like, oi, something's very weird.
And if we plan this, if we know about this, then that's not a problem. We can take these users into account and make sure that they can keep using the product that way, the product they paid for. But the issue is when you make a change, you take this away. Let's say the iPad app is gone or the iPad app is broken, and we don't even realize until it's too late, until the customer can no longer use the product as he's been using it for months or years, because we broke this undefined, unplanned scenario.
Yeah, but how can we then, as a startup or as a big company, really like avoid this type of things happening in regression? Because we don't even know about it in a way, or we only know about it once kind of that undefined state is changed, and then we get a feedback from our customer base. How can we avoid it? What are some techniques that you know, and so on?
That's a good question. Up front, about the only thing you can do is be mindful of how dynamic, of how complex your app can get, and just try to narrow down and constrain as much as possible. Keep it as simple as possible, and you only need to do this if you have a lot of customers. Obviously, if you're still trying to figure things out, it could actually be good for your users to experiment.
So what you're saying now is, because you have certain undefined states, your app might be used in a certain way, and that's how people really like it.
Yes.
And that's maybe how you could go more towards product market fit.
Exactly.
Because there's one, it's fun, it's like a bug, which is actually could result into a benefit later on.
That's exactly right. For a large company, it's a bug because they have very strict end user agreements. This product has to work this way and keep working this way, or the contract is affected, for example. But as a smaller company, it could be beneficial to listen and see what users are missing, how they are misusing your app, breaking it, what they're actually wanting to do. Because if they come back to your app and it's not for the reason you expect, which happens most of the time, then it's a good sign. Like, it's better for people to come back to your app for something else than not come back at all.
Correct.
So
true.
You should listen. And once your product is out there, another way to not have regressions is not to change the software. So from experience, I know that regressions are usually caused by trying to fix another bug. This is very common. So when you want to fix issue A, you make a change, and that causes a ripple effect.
B and C and D
and then so it could actually be worse. So that's why, like, usually rewrites are good if you don't have a lot of customers and at the very beginning. But rewrites get more dangerous as your app complexity grows, because you can't map out all the ways, all the scenarios that people are using your app. So really, if something is battle tested, then you should be very wary of making
changing it.
large changes and really think about the consequences.
It's often probably like with big companies, for example with Twitter, where the edit button.
That's why it took so long.
Yeah, everyone's saying like, come on, why can't you do it? But because of these regression issues, there's so much more that needs to be tested and so much more that needs to be checked, and they never even know if it will eventually work. They only know after it's then released, and then they probably have to have updates and so on. But that's maybe a good example that the public says, why can't you just do an edit button? But actually it's much more technical to change that.
Yeah, and that's why backwards compatibility is also hard, and you can introduce invisible security threats, all that stuff. So better to keep it separate.
To finalize the episode, maybe you have one kind of an example of regression that maybe everyone or a lot of people would have encountered.
Yes, let's talk about a different type.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go over a UX regression. So
Okay.
It's not only about functionality in software. It can also be user experience, visual thing. So Apple doesn't have a separate QR code scanning app on the iPhone. What they did is they integrated QR code scanning into the camera app.
Mm-hmm.
And when they introduced it, everybody was happy. It's working well. What you do is you point your camera to
a QR code, and then it pops up which kind of
and the reason it doesn't take you directly to the link is because they don't know for certain if you just want to take a picture or if you plan to scan the thing.
Yeah.
So most QR code readers will take you directly to the app, but Apple gives you a pop-up and says, hey, we found some context, and maybe they'll add other types of recognition in the future, like Google does. We found something. Do you want to open this link?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. People are using this, loving it, relying on it for their business, perhaps for
everyday use.
Every day, and maybe critical tasks like, I don't know, medicine or something.
Or during the COVID period where everyone had to scan the Corona QR code and so on.
So really critical life or death situations, old people, young people. And then in an update, they tried to make it better. Mm-hmm. So what did they do?
That's already
you can hear it.
Famous last words. Let's say like exactly. That. We want to do it better.
Yeah, they
what happened?
They changed the visual. Now they would draw a square around the QR code to make it more interactive. Everything
Correct,
is fine
I
so
saw
far.
It. It's kind of where you move your camera.
Yeah, exactly. It moves with you.
The square around the QR code changes with your movements.
Exactly. It highlights it like it. Like as it would be in AR.
Correct.
So far so good. And if you want to use it, you have to tap it. So you no longer get this permanent persistent pop-up. Mm-hmm. Persistent being the keyword.
Yes.
Now, if you want to access the link, you have to tap on the camera on this rectangle they drew, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. As a tester. If I try the happy path, I have this big QR code right in front of me, point my camera, tap on it, it works.
Yes.
So you could say they made it better. But what if you have a QR code, let's say the QR code for your Wi-Fi password, and your Wi-Fi router is somewhere on the ground, or you point to the QR code and then you move your phone down and it's gone and you can no longer tap it.
So you kind of have to very awkwardly try to find a way.
Yeah, you have to exactly. You have to. So they went back. They went back a step. What did they do? The pop-up is no longer persistent. It doesn't stay on the screen, and I'm sure a lot of people were annoyed by this because they eventually reverted this change. And so designers had time on their hands to do something, and they thought they wanted to make it better. Like I said, try to fix something and making it worse.
It's a good UX regression issue, and as well as like by trying to make it aesthetically more pleasing, they made it in the real world much more difficult to use and much more annoying. Actually.
Yeah, and it feels like an insult to the user. I have this a lot with smaller apps. Like they try to be cute and add a new seasonal icon for Christmas. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine, but if the app doesn't work,
focus on
I'm talking about the national train.
Okay. Well, we all have sometimes. Let's focus on the hard core, make it work instead of focusing on the little bells around it.
But it's a good way to frustrate a user. Add some cute new bells and whistles and animations, but have a core flow broken. And users complained, and Apple now has the best of both worlds. They both show the interactive QR code, and they make it persistent. So as when you move the device to tap, it's there. So
perfect. Yeah. You live, you learn. Well, I hope everyone learned a lot about regression, and maybe to end this episode with the tweet of the week. And it's actually the tweet is first of Elon Musk, who says tweets are read 100 times more than they are liked. Because as well, recently they added the views, how much your tweet gets views. And a response was that actually by Sahil Lavinga. He said actually on the internet 1% creates, 9% contributes, so likes, comments and so on, and 90% consumes. So it's still, the internet is very narrow in what is produced, and a majority still consumes constantly. And I quickly wanted to know kind of your opinion about it.
Sahil is the founder of Gumroad, and he's citing nothing new. It's an old rule of the internet. When you browse Reddit, for example, you're reading all these posts, and you might be a lurker, somebody that never posts or never even upvotes, and you still get all this amazing content. And this really shows us that a small handful of people are looking at posting new content and looking at stuff with not a lot of likes, new incoming posts, and they're doing the heavy lifting for us, for the 99% that consume. And it's the same when you have paying customers for your app. Like, most of them probably don't pay, and then a small percentage finds it worthwhile to make your business run.
Well, I think as well that's the reason why we kind of started this podcast, to produce more, because like you are a developer at Spotify and have so much knowledge in the software engineering industry, so it would be selfish not to share that with the world.
Yes. Well, it is kind of selfish, because the one thing I always learn something by creating as well. So
that is true as well.
Yeah.
And I try to as well share my point of view of having a startup, and hopefully it's for some people interesting. But I'll let the listener decide if that's good or not. So thank you very much to listen to our episode 8 of the Unquestioned podcast. Hopefully you liked it, and again, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment with some feedback. And see you on the next episode of the Unquestioned podcast.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.